we really do appreciate and value the work that he does for us, the fact that he's here today, the work that he does on behalf of the Bureau in Albany, because he works very closely with Carol in helping to make sure that things are facilitated very well. And so it is my honor and my pleasure to call forward to speak to you this evening Deputy Commissioner Kevin Smith, the Deputy Commissioner of the Adult Career and Continuing Education Services, Access, and our Bureau. Kevin, thank you.
Thank you, Terry, very much. I asked Terry to wait just a little while longer so the wait staff could remove all the sharp objects from the table. And actually, what Terry doesn't understand is I'm from Buffalo. This is July where I come from, so I appreciate the weather and and turning the snow machine on for me to welcome me to this event. It is a pleasure to be here. Terry and I got to meet each other early in my now 2-year tenure as the Deputy Commissioner of Access, Adult Career and Continuing Education Services. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I do have responsibilities for the Bureau of Proprietary Schools Supervision. Terry added career to that. I noticed he changed the name of the Bureau. I thought that was very clever. Very clever. He's not a showman, is he? Also, we have the Vocational Rehabilitation Services. And I know many of the schools represented here this evening coordinate with our Voc Rehab offices in providing educational services to individuals with disabilities to assist them to gain the educational skills and career opportunities that we work so hard together to afford them. So I appreciate that, and we're going to try to tighten that role and that relationship up as we go forward under the Office of Access. The third part of the stool is our adult education operation. Many of you also have a number of students who come to you having gained skills through adult education, basic literacy and language skills through our adult education operation, and get their high school equivalency diploma. And I don't want anyone to say GED anymore. It's high school equivalency diploma. We're changing the language as we go. I think you're all aware big changes coming in the high school equivalency diploma arena. The stakes are high. The ATB issues, the deferred action issues that we're facing, the opportunities that those present for us to bring attention to those issues and make them and improve upon them so that our students can get the... Yeah. Really? Where am I? I love this guy. So we can get these students the credentials and the skills to indeed be, as the Commissioner and the Board of Regents say, college and career ready. Terry indicated it. I will reemphasize it. When the Commissioner, John King, and the Board of Regents with our Chancellor, Merrill Tisch, talk about college and career ready for all, they mean for all. They do not mean only those students who are in school and who are college bound. Our system has, our P-12 system has, over the years, become a system dedicated to those students who are college bound. Our counselors spend too much of their time counseling those students who are college bound, not enough attention to our overaged, undercredited students, to our special education students who are not on track to our Regents diploma in its current form or in its future form. We will make sure that all students are college and career ready. And I keep repeating that career word. You are right in the path, and this is a good storm. We intend to make sure, and I hope there's already strong evidence that I will remind you of in just a second, of the fact that the proprietary school sector is getting the full attention of the Board of Regents and the Commissioner, and me, of course. I know it's been given less attention, less priority through the years. Carol reminds me every day. that proprietary schools have not always gotten the level of priority and attention from the Board of Regents and from the department that they deserve. I hope that you understand that that's changing, and I will continue to work to assure that it is. This is a, thank you. I'll be very honest with you. When I took this job 2 years ago, I've worked all my life in adult education. I knew the adult education team. I knew adult education and adult literacy work very, very well. I have personal experience in vocational rehabilitation and special education, having a daughter with special needs. I experienced that world firsthand as a parent and an advocate. I'm a harsh critic. We're working on it. I knew very little about proprietary schools. I know a whole lot more now. It's a significant sector. It's a big sector. It's providing services to over 200,000 students a year. You're nearly 500 licensed schools in this state. That's nearly twice the size of our degree granting institutions. People simply do not understand the size and scope of your operations. They do not understand what you do and how well you do it. And I hope to participate with you and work with you to change that. And I think there is grand opportunity to do it. That's the fun stuff. Some housekeeping. You may know that we have a new bill, new legislation. As Terry indicates, it'll be signed or effective into law. It's already been signed into law. Effective 120 days, which on December 17th, that law will come into effect. It is been a long time coming. Many of you in this room have worked hard, negotiated well with us through the years, and especially these last couple of years, to get this bill done. To say that it could not have been done without your support is gross understatement. This is an interesting relationship, and again, I've been around 30 years of one-year renewable grants and contracts under the New York State Education Department. Let me repeat that. I am the product of 30 years of one-year renewable grants and contracts of the New York State Education Department is my career. And so I've begged for my lunch and dinner for these many years. This is a situation where basically the law says this industry, this sector, will support its own oversight through the New York State Education Department. An interesting relationship and an important one. You are our partners. We're your partners. We're joined at the hip, literally. And so it behooves us to make sure that you're working well, and it behooves you to make sure that we're working well. I get the strong sense that we've not always held up our end of the bargain, and I certainly know that the sector, parts of the sector, pieces of the sector, hasn't always held up its end of the bargain. We're gonna do everything we can to keep moving forward. This is a maturation process. I've heard the stories. An old friend of mine in the department, Garrett Murphy, used to be involved with proprietary schools. He used to tell me some of the stories back to the late 80s, some of the horror stories and war stories. It's changed. It's evolved a great deal. I said to Terry earlier, I think this is a watershed year. The bill has been passed. We are going to get a new data system. I mean it. I mean it. You will be able, we are in the 21st century. We recognize that we're in the 21st century. You will be able to go online in the next year and a half, be able to look up your school, be able to find out where you are and whatever status that you're in as a teacher, as a curriculum, as a school trying to become licensed. Your consumers, your students will be able to do the same. You'll be able to go online and check you out, look at you, determine whether this is a right fit for them. Honestly, it's embarrassing. That honest truth. We have a COBOL data system that is COBOL, built on COBOL language. If you go to page 16, to get back to page 5, you have to go 15, 14. God's honest truth. I thought I was going to work at this very sophisticated place with all the resources that man has ever created. Not quite true. Carol and her team work extremely hard. They're a small team, as you know, 21 people, soon to grow. Regulations. There are numerous regulations that have to be passed by the Board of Regents. You'll get a chance to look at those. They're already posted. They've already been put in the state register, so you can already begin the process of providing input into those. Those regulations are consistent with the statutory changes that are indicated by the law. We will have additional recommendations for regulatory change going forward to the Board of Regents as we get through the ones that have to be changed consistent with December 17th when the bill, when the law comes is fully enacted. But please, provide your input. This is your opportunity. We've said all along, we've worked with your advocates. We've said it from the beginning. Some of the statutory changes we negotiated. Now it's time to negotiate some of the regulatory changes to make sure that, again, in this interesting partnership that we have, this thing works in its structure, in its form, in its statute, in its regulation, and in its practice. Now is your chance. Now is the opportunity. Take full advantage of it. Give us your full input. Tell us what you think. Now is not the time to hold back. The data system will be put in place. I wrote this down and I laughed a little bit, but then I left it in. It's important. Our New York City office, when I first visited it on 32nd Street, I went in and I said, geez, I've got to go on. I got to get on a computer. I've got to check my email. I must have left my BlackBerry. I don't know. They put me in a little conference room. Those of you been to the office, pretty sharp space. There's somebody here who does real estate. Can you find us a little more Tony address?
I'll call you later.
All right, thanks. You'll have to negotiate with the Office of Government Services. So good luck. Put me on this computer. I swear it took 15 to 20 minutes to light up. It just took forever. And I said, okay, guys, very cute. You put me on. No, this is what we have throughout the office. All brand new desktops in the New York City office, a brand new copier. We get foiled to death. Thank you very much for those of you who are foiling us to death. We have to make copies. The copy machine in the Bureau of Proprietary Schools office in New York City had to be fed one sheet at a time. It was so. I'm not kidding you. I mean, this stuff is. I'm laughing at myself a little bit. I mean, well, you got to be kidding. Minor, obvious, but significant progress and advances. I've said it and I'll say it again. A 25-year-old data system in the Bureau of Proprietary Schools Supervision. That's not a mistake. That's not an oversight. That's neglect. That's a low priority. 25 years without a new system. That's neglect. That means that's as strong a signal as possible that part of the operation really doesn't matter and it doesn't get our attention. That is and has changed right to the top of our organization. So I would offer to you, and I hope to prove to you, that we are finally getting the appropriate level of attention by the department and by government. But again, I want to remind us both, we both need to hold up our ends of the deal. The future, again, I'll reiterate, over 200,000 students served, nearly 500 licensed schools in our system. It's a very large, very significant sector. I've had the opportunity a couple of times to refer to it as higher education. And the folks across the street, the first floor as I know them, my bosses, no, it's not higher ed. Well, it's not adult ed. Well, what is it? What is it? What are proprietary schools? What do we classify them as? Really haven't figured it out yet. Again, to me, an indication that it has not been given the level of attention, priority, and thought, basic, simple thought. Where does this sector fit in? We're asking those questions. We're thinking about those issues. And there are some, I think, some pretty positive potential answers in the future. you have good outcomes. You have good results. You do for the students you serve and the needs of those students, you know, and you've got this guy who lacks enthusiasm, who's always reminding me, Mr. Hatton over here. Giving me both the data from his school, from the sector, from the industry, but also sharing with me the comparative data from some of our degree granting institutions. You provide career opportunities to those who, in most cases, would not have those career opportunities given to them. And this Board of Regents, this commissioner, understand it, they welcome it, they're engaging it, they want to bring it into the mainstream. Well, I remind Carol, with that attention comes new computers and new copy machines, but also heightened expectations and responsibilities. It isn't easy to be in the shadows all the time, but if you're in the limelight and you're up there at the Regents table on a monthly or quarterly basis, sharing with the policy board what's going on in your industry and what the policy concerns and issues are, and how this industry relates to our higher ed operations, to the degree granting sector, to the secondary schools, and how you can become a even better direct connection for our both those students graduating from our high schools and those students who are not graduating from our high schools. How you can blend your services as we grow and give focus to career and technical education again. Career and technical education is not new. The way the Board of Regents are discussing this and considering this isn't your old, for those of us upstaters and Long Islanders. I went to a SUNY school. I had Long Island roommates. Busted their chops mercilessly, as they busted mine. That this isn't the old BOCES. You know, this is not the program that kids go to because they can't hack it in the academic programs. High academic expectations for career and technical education. Do we recognize that some students will not meet all of those high academic expectations in all subject areas? Yes. There will be opportunities for students to demonstrate their academic and career skills and get a meaningful high school diploma that informs college and career readiness on alternative pathways that are sanctioned and endorsed by the New York State Board of Regents. We're talking about this, we're working on it, not only for our, again, college-bound students, not just for our general population students who are overaged and undercredited, but for our special education students as well. Again, the Board of Regents talking college and career, they mean everybody, college and career. And they are articulating and having the difficult conversations of how to do that in maintaining academic rigor and integrity, as well as offering these students the opportunity to demonstrate their strengths, to demonstrate their aptitudes, and to demonstrate their skills, as your schools have done consistently since their inception. I see you in the pathway, in the future. Where can you connect? Think about the New York City Department of Education schools, once having a very robust career and technical education program and infrastructure. Most of that infrastructure is gone. In this day and age, in this budgetary condition, can they replicate or replace that level of career and technical education for students across the New York City Department of Education? Absolutely not. You have it. You have it. Think about ways in which you can begin to connect with those schools, whether by blending and offering your schools and your programs for and with them, or by working with their guidance and their other advisors to those students to make sure that those students know and see you as a viable post-secondary opportunity for them after they exit from school, with a diploma or without a diploma. We have hurdles? Absolutely, we have hurdles. Mike Hatton is appropriately concerned about our ability to benefit issues. We are appropriately concerned about the potential surge that deferred action for childhood arrivals will create because of the mandate in that. To get deferment, they have to be enrolled in a high school equivalency or meaningful adult education program. There's lots of demand that is pent up and surging, but at the same time, I think if we look at the opportunities that your schools offer and try to begin to blend and accept those programs as viable post-secondary opportunities and begin to get you into those secondary schools to begin to sell your product, explain your product to kids in school, to counselors and administrators as we bring career and technical education back with, again, high academic rigor. I again suggest to you that your role in the future in the near future, is going to be enhanced and is going to be bright. And I look forward to being a part of that as long as they'll have me. Share with you very briefly. It's the time I have to find my glasses. Reached that lovely age. I don't drive it dark and I can't see. This, again, we've talked, the Board of Regents have talked about college and career ready, and yet everything that we seem to do defines college ready but doesn't say much about career ready. You folks know a whole lot about what it means to be career ready. With others, not by myself, I've kind of challenged, kind of pushed back and said, okay, I think we know what college ready needs as we bring Common Core curricula into place. We train our teachers to impart Common Core curricula. We understand that achieving an average C grade at college is the benchmark for college ready. But what does it mean to be career ready? Obviously, you have to have the academic skills. But this is a document that was posted by the commissioner on his tweet. So if you go on our website, the commissioner tweets. He doesn't do it. Somebody does it. But it's important to note that he is trying to take a full departmental role in putting out information that is relevant and interesting to the entire department and all of the programs and operations that we oversee. This one I thought was particularly interesting because in my short stay, it's the first time that anybody has really kind of tried to focus on what career ready means. There is an often confusing mix of definitions, frameworks, policies, and implementation strategies for career readiness. Some viewpoints center around learning skills for a specific entry-level job, while others define career readiness as broader understanding of workplace skills. Still other definitions focus on knowledge and skills for a particular industry sector, such as health sciences or marketing. Career readiness is the conversion of all of these definitions. You have your hands full. Career readiness also requires a comprehensive system of supports that deliver learning when it is needed, where it is needed, how it is needed, and by a cadre of experts that includes teachers and career professionals. It includes both classroom and workplace experience, high-quality standards, instructional materials to support learning, a portfolio of assessments that gauge progress using multiple measures along a continuum from being not at all career ready to full career ready, and finally a policy and funding structure that is aligned across K-12, higher education, including proprietary schools, and business and industry sector. Call to action. For too many years, high school graduates throughout the United States faced a fork in the road. One path led to four-year college, the other to entry-level jobs. Some students chose for themselves, while others were tracked based on aptitude, all too often on race and income. In today's 21st global economy, the choices are much more complex and interconnected, and the fork in the road has been replaced by numerous paths, all of which require a rigorous and rich high school experience that prepares all students, not just some, for college and career. I can't say it enough. I can't overemphasize it. The next 3 to 5 years in the proprietary school sector, in the career school sector, in my opinion, is an essential opportunity to take the next step toward the maturity of this sector, toward the important and essential role that you have played and can play. I hope that we will get the Bureau of Proprietary School Supervision Office poised to help you, to support you, to partner with you in taking that next step. It's here. All the indicators are in place. The bill has been passed. The law is about to happen. The regulations, the infrastructure that we hope to have soon, that you already have and are building. And I think together we're going to move this forward in a very big way. So I thank you, and it's really very, very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I cannot tell you enough how much we appreciate your spending some time with us to share those thoughts with us. And it's appropriate that we recognize you at this time. And Muriel has indeed found recognition here. You know, there are all these hiding places around here. But we have a little award that we would like to just have for you, that you'd be able to have in your office or at home or wherever you think it's appropriate, so you can think about us all the time and the fact that we shared this nice experience here with us today. And Muriel?
The Coalition is very grateful that you're here with us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed what you heard so far. We certainly enjoyed what we heard from you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions?
Any questions? If you'd have any questions.
Fire away.
Why aren't we surprised? Let me take that to Mike. I think this is portable enough that Mike can. Go ahead.
Commissioner, how would everybody in this audience access the information that you alluded to before, as far as the regions putting out regulations? You said it was available somewhere. How do we go and find that exact place where that exists?
I know Carol will, you will be giving this group the opportunity to do some of that during the next couple of days. It is posted in the State Register. We'll get you that exact reference. We have to do, according to law, post it 45 days in advance. We've already posted it. I believe it was October 20-something. We're going to emergency emergency approval by the Board of Regents because it has to be done in a timely manner. But you'll get the full 40 days to provide that input, and I'll get you the exact website on the State Register. But if you search the State Register, it's not that hard to find.
Tomorrow, much of the program is going to be dedicated to Carol and Thomas spending time reviewing the law and the regulations, what has been proposed, what is on the website. Everyone has received in their emails the link to the state's website, or they've also received the actual regulations themselves in PDF format that I had sent out a few days ago that you can take a look at already. And if you haven't had a chance, tomorrow, before the session that Carol and Thomas begin at 9 o'clock, we will be providing hard copies that we've printed up of those regulation changes for everybody that attends, so that you can take a look at the regulations and have them with you throughout the day tomorrow. We didn't give you them today because we thought we might leave them in the room. You know, we know the way people are. I know the way I am, right? And you may have left them in the room. So tomorrow, when you go into the session at 9 o'clock, we will have these regulations there for you, and we'll be distributing them at that time so that you can actually look at them, consider them, and think about them. I'll tell you, I've had a chance to look at them, and I'll be honest. They had a very, very limited period of time within which to work on those regulations over the last few weeks. They truly did. Since when that legislation went into effect, and when they started trying to put this together. And my initial take, you know, he's going to like this. My initial take is that they've done a pretty darn good job at putting stuff together to this point. And that's a tip of the cap to Carol, to Thomas, and to the staff at BPSS for the work they've done.
This guy is tough.
Say that again.
He's tough. He's tough. He is tough. On page 36, Kevin, what's that mean? I really have no idea. Other questions?
Any other questions for Kevin? Unfortunately, you know, Kevin will be returning to Albany tomorrow morning. He's staying with us this evening, but you can't knock on his door tonight at 2 in the morning. So, you know, if you have any questions, this is your time. Okay. You can always email him, and you can always speak to Carol. Oh, we have one back here. Okay, Bill Can.
This is how it goes, and it will be here.
It starts like this, right?
You spoke about the regents and our sector coming up like the cream to the top here. My question is, if they're thinking about us, and they really don't know us, we've been in your Cobalt system a long time, is there any forum that's been thought about where some of our schools can have some direct input to educate them about us?
Excellent question. Great question.
We'll make that happen. The Board of Regents has regular panels where they hear from people from the sectors. Proprietary Schools reports to the Board of Regents on a regular basis, and we'll get a panel on the agenda as soon as we can. I think that's very appropriate.
Thank you very much. One more question, and
As long as Terry and
one more question.
I'm Louis Reyes from IMTI in New York. Just as a follow-up to this gentleman about Cobalt, and you indicated that people will have the ability, students or whoever, to know about us and get information. You indicated a year and a half. Why does this have to take that long? It's been 25 years. A year and a half seems like a lifetime again.
Okay.
If I have learned nothing in the 2 years that I have been with the state government, it is the slowest moving creature you have ever seen in your life. The approvals, the waivers, it's incredible. Just to give you one little example, we're going to hire consultants to build the data system. The state contract, not the state education department contract, New York State's contract to hire IT consultants has not been viable for the last 8 months. So the state of New York could not hire IT consultants because it had no viable contract to do so. So part of it, we had to wait. That was just cleared, so we can now identify consultants to start the build. But it's happening. This money's been available to us for almost a decade, and we've been unable to move it. So again, I will reiterate, I get in trouble because I say what I think, but that's okay. Bureau of Proprietary School Supervision has been a low priority, and it's not so anymore. And that's not just because of me, far from it. Our executive deputy, Valerie Gray, our commissioner, the Board of Regents, the chancellor, get this done. Bring it out of the backwoods, bring it out of the shadows. Let's get going. Otherwise, the bill would not be passed, the regulations would not be articulated, the new equipment would not happen. Oh, how could I forget? 6 new staff people. We've been stuck at 21 for many, many years. We have to get approvals. That all has to be indicated by our revenue projections. The Division of Budget has to approve. Others have to approve. 6 new staff people will be, the jobs are already posted, and we'll be bringing those people online very soon. 6 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you start with 21, it's a significant percentage. So we will have the human and fiscal infrastructure in the next year to 18 months. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I could wave the wand. I really do.
Okay, very good. And this will be the last remark, and then we'll be closing out.
I really wasn't going to do this, but I have to, because Bill asked the question, I'm going to answer it for Commissioner Smith. I've been doing this for 42 years. I'm the chairman of the Advisory Council for Registered Business and Licensed Trade Schools. It's a 5010 education law. I've been on the council for going on 19 years. On November 19th of this month, I have a meeting with Commissioner King. He already has my agenda, which is not my agenda, it's your agenda. It is the agenda that Commissioner Smith has outlined to us this evening. I am going to take that to the Commissioner of this state in a forceful, respectful, and accountable conversation so that we will be heard. I guarantee you that. Will be heard. And your concerns, your futures, and access to students, and the great job you do, he will learn about from someone who's been in the industry that I hope will represent all of you at the highest level. This will happen. We are on a path right now for something remarkable in this field. I've been doing this for 42 years, and I have not seen a time when the commissioner of this state was so willing to meet with a representative from this sector. We're the non-degree sector, by the way, Commissioner. We're called a non-degree. We're not proprietary. We're non-degree, as opposed to degree. I'm going to try and work on that with you a little bit, see what I can do. And they will listen to your voices. If you have something that you think during the course of the next couple of days that you want articulated and you want brought before the commissioner, he already has my agenda. If you have some thoughts you want to share, I'd be more than welcome and happy to hear them. But your voices will be heard. I guarantee you that.
And for those of you who know Mike, that's true. That's certainly true. And Mike, I want to make sure that we recognize that we're delighted to have Mike Hatton, who's the chair of the Advisory Council, here with us tonight. He always comes with us every year. In fact, he's one of our biggest proponents at the Advisory Council meetings for folks to come to the convention, to be involved, to get informed, to stay together in different ways. And we certainly thank you for that, Mike. And it's always been a pleasure to have you here as a friend. Thank you.